All right, let's start then.
Расскажите о вашей технологии, повышающей разумность сердца.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Colin Tipping, and I am the author of a book called Radical Forgiveness, which is the basis of the work that I do. And there is a strong connection to the need to get in touch with our feelings when we are confronted with some offense or some grievance. It's important that we are able to feel the feelings associated with that grievance before we can heal it. So we have, in Radical Forgiveness, we have a 5-step process. Once somebody has spoken about their grievance and their wound, then the second step is a very important one, and that is to feel the feelings associated with that grievance. We have a saying that you cannot heal what you don't feel. And so a lot of people avoid their feelings though. They want to do what I call a spiritual bypass. And this is where somebody will say, this is what happened to me, but I'm just allowing it to be okay. I'm going to meditate and not feel my feelings about it. So that is a very, very important step in my process. So really it starts out with the story being, it's from the mind, we speak about it, and then we drop into the heart to feel about it. Once we've done that, then we come back into the brain, or the mind, the more rational mind, and we begin to look at it from a more rational point of view, more analytical point of view, trying to understand the situation a little bit better than we were when we were still all part into that victim story. So it's sort of it's taking a step back. But that's no different, it's no different to traditional forgiveness in that sense. So tell the story, feel the feelings, and then collapse the story to make it more understandable and to take out a lot of the extraneous information like interpretations and expectations and all that. But then with radical forgiveness we go a big step further, and this is the 4th step. We use our spiritual intelligence now, not emotional or mental. And our spiritual intelligence is mediated through the body. And it's our spiritual intelligence that really does the transformation in radical forgiveness, because it takes the idea to be possibly true that everything happens for a reason, and it's all part of one's divine plan to have this situation be part of our experience. Now the mind is not able to handle that. The mind says it's crazy, that everything, no exception, everything happens for a reason, and nothing wrong has ever happened, and there's nothing to forgive. The mind says that's crazy. The body says, yes, it's true. And the heart says it's true, because you feel it. Everybody associated with the situation that you're upset about changes as well. The energy changes. The heart has an energy field. And when you change your energy, the energy of the heart goes out and touches other people. They feel the effect of that transformation. Fortunately, no one has to believe this idea. I don't even believe it, but I know that it works. We've been doing it now for 20 years, all around the world, with a lot of cancer patients. And what we know is that when people just try and use the tools that we have associated with the theory, it works. And that's the only test that matters. The mind can do what it wants to do, but your heart and your body will know that something has happened as a result of just doing a simple worksheet that helps to do the transformation almost automatically. It's a process that's very quick, very easy to do. It's a very simple step-by-step process, and anybody can do it, as opposed to traditional forgiveness where you have to be somebody very special to be able to forgive something serious. So that's why we used it with cancer patients, because the research shows that cancer patients have a very hard time forgiving. most cancer patients have what we call a type C personality, where they suppress or repress their feelings. That energy's got to go somewhere, so it comes out as a physical disease like cancer or MS or whatever other disease process. So it was out of our necessity to work with cancer patients really to help to find a way that they can forgive or let go of their pent-up feelings, that we created Radical Forgiveness. It was for cancer patients. Joanne and I were doing retreats in America for people with cancer, and that's why we came up with Radical Forgiveness. Then I wrote the book, and then we've been doing it around the world ever since. So it does use all three intelligences: mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Это очень благородная идея, которой вы занимаетесь, да, и благородная миссия, которая говорит все-таки о широте, доброте, глубине и мудрости вашего сердца. Вы очень правильно говорите о том, что основная проблема современного человека, особенно больного раком, в том, что он подавляет свои эмоции. Как вы считаете, в чем причина такого массового глобального подавления своих эмоциональных состояний? И с какого возраста оно начинается у современного человека?
Very soon. A very young age, especially men, boys, told, don't cry, so be a man, don't cry, don't show your feelings. So we are taught very early on in childhood to push our feelings way down. It's as if feelings are wrong. That's what we're taught. And to be strong, you need to have no feelings. It's better to have no feelings. But that's a very, very restricted way of living. It's a very toxic way of living. Those repressed feelings cause disease, no question about it. The research shows it. I'm not a doctor, but the research shows that repressed feelings are highly toxic.
Ну вот уже достаточно известная цифра о том, что 85% заболеваний психосоматические. Скорее всего, оставшиеся 15% тоже будут открыты как психосоматические в ближайшие 3-5 лет. Поэтому в этом сомнений нет. Безусловно, мы с вами абсолютно правы. Действительно, неумелая работа с собственными эмоциями приводит к заболеваниям. Подавленная эмоция становится ядом внутри современного человека. Это так?
Yeah, I mean, it stands to reason. It's an energy. Emotions have a strong polarity. They carry a lot of energy, and that's good energy. There's no such thing as a negative feeling. All feelings are good. Even anger, it's when we suppress them that they become toxic. And the fact is that we don't only suppress feelings like anger and sadness, but we also repress joy and happiness. We don't allow ourselves to feel joyful and happy, which means then we live life along this very kind of numb, blah type of life. No feelings, nothing's very much happening.
Вы знаете, мы сейчас очень много работаем с женщинами, да, основная наша аудитория – это женщины. И мы столкнулись с тем, что каждая хочет быть счастливой, но не умеет этого делать, то есть не знает как. Или, можно сказать, эмоционально неразумна. И мы сейчас направлены на то, чтобы научить женщину пользоваться разумом собственного сердца. И мы очень рады, что вы занимаетесь тем же. И мы очень надеемся, что эти технологии будут использоваться в том числе и для маленьких людей, для малышей, потому что на самом деле образовывать сердце лучше, конечно, с малого возраста. И мы тоже написали об этом книгу «Как сделать ребенка счастливым, харизматичным и гениальным». Я рада, что мы с вами несем благородную миссию все-таки на этой земле в массы. И кто-то уже хорошо понимает и знаком с понятием разум, сердце, эмоции, а для кого-то это совершенно новая информация. И очень здорово, что мы сейчас с вами рассказываем, доносим до понимания обычного человека, что такое разум сердца, что такое эмоции, и как они влияют на здоровье и на жизнь, счастливую жизнь обычного человека. А чем вам помогает разум сердца в жизни?
Well, there's a lot of research out there now that's beginning to indicate that the heart is more important than the brain. that the heart is actually a brain, and that we have up to now thought about the brain then informing the heart how to feel. The Heart Math Institute in California is now showing pretty clearly that the heart is the primary brain, and that the primary communication is not from here to here, it's from here to here. Really, when you think about it, if you're closing off your feelings, you're cutting half of your life off. And it's not just that it causes disease to do that, but it restricts how happy you can be. Because I believe that the human experience is primarily a feeling experience. And if we would listen to our hearts more, we would not have wars, we wouldn't be beating up women, we wouldn't be creating poverty and everything else. Our problems really come out of shutting down our hearts. I look forward to the day when we have a hierarchy of spirit first, spiritual intelligence primary, emotional intelligence secondary, and mental intelligence at the moment is the other way around. And for as long as we keep it that way, the more problems that we'll have, the more illness we'll have, the more wars that we will have, the more bad relations that we will have, because we're not connected to the truth of who we really are. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, primarily spiritual. Our heart is essential for us to be able to feel our connection between our spiritual self and our mental self.
Вы знаете, я думаю, что благодаря все-таки таким людям, как вы, мы и многие другие разумные люди, которые работают с сердцами, с разумом, сердцем, все-таки это возможно в будущем, наверное, даже в ближайшем.
It's very simple. Just open your heart. Let this part of you be vulnerable. Open your heart to people, open your heart to animals, open your heart to the planet, and stop giving too much credibility to this part. Look at your life through here, and let it be the way to relate to the world through the heart.
Друзья, будьте успешными, счастливыми и здоровыми. И делайте то, что приносит вам радость. Повышайте разумность собственного сердца.